Hello everyone, Sergeant Rock here from BuddhaBellies doing another Heroes of the Storm cast. This one is on Garden of Terror, and I've been told that it's a very excellent game. I'm not going to say who sent it in, but he sent in games before, and they've been alright, so hopefully this one follows suit. He says it's probably the best game he's ever sent. He didn't tell me who won or lost or anything, not that I remember anyways, which is always good, because I don't want to know who wins. I want to kind of go through this journey as long as, or as well as the viewer, because I want my reactions to be genuine to everything that's happening. So hopefully we get some pretty good plays here. So anyways, going through the team, we do have Diablo, Rhaegar, Nova, Zagara, and Uther. Right away I'm seeing that Uther and Rhaegar are quite good at healing. Uther almost fills the role of a tank as well, and then Diablo takes lots of damage himself. Nova is there to deal the damage, and Zagara is good at both siege damage and hero damage. So that is absolutely awesome. I actually really like that team composition. I think that's pretty cool. Can't say I've seen it before, but I can't say I disagree with it. I think it's actually quite good there. And in the second team, we do have Rhaegar, Arthas, Tassadar, Vala, and Raynor. So we do have Vala and Raynor kind of filling in the DPS spot, although neither one is quite as bursty, if that's a word, bursty, you know, the ability to do damage quickly, as Nova, because Nova can just pop in, take someone from half health all the way to 0 in a blink of an eye, and if you weren't paying attention, you'll miss it. But Raynor and Vala have much more sustained damage, which is arguably better, but you know, it depends. Tassadar are quite good at keeping teammates alive. We already know that Rhaegar is absolutely good at that, and that Arthas is going to be quite good at tanking damage, and in situations so is Tassadar as well. So I'm excited for this game. Let's get this started. So like I said, it is on Garden of Terror, and this is normally a map where we do see the standard, you know, one goes up top, one goes in the middle, one goes to the bottom, and then a couple guys that are floating around. So I think we're going to see maybe one in the middle, two top, two bottom. It looks like Vala and Raynor are going to push together in the middle. Seconds. That's actually quite good. I think my game sounds are actually really, really loud. Let's turn this down a little bit. Turn to game. So I like the two of these pushing together because they might be able to do a fair amount of damage, especially if it's only Uther. But with the two of them, I think they're going to be fine. Arthur's pushing here at the bottom with Rhaegar, going up against Zagara. Zagara will be fine. And then we do have Tassadar versus Rhaegar and soon-to-be Nova joining them. So I've been told the game's quite back and forth. Looks like Diablo already took a little bit of damage, but really not much of anything happening so far. Just your standard back and forth. What I would like to see in this game, I would like to see pushing for objectives really, really hard. Probably not going to happen. This map, the objectives work a little bit differently than they do in other ones. And the fact that you can kind of ignore them and you're going to be fine in a bit of a sense. Like if you notice that the other team is really pushing for the shambles and trying to get their seeds going, then you better be doing it as well, and you better be trying to stop them. But if you notice that, you know, your team doesn't really care, you don't really have to care. But as the game's getting, as the game's going on longer and longer, that does become more important, almost as much as, say, the Dragonshire map when you have the Dragon Knight. So just the standard pushing here at the top and bottom. No one's really looking like they're going to lose much health at all. We do have Rhaegar kind of getting low on health, but nothing's going to happen. The Hydralisk here, a lot of people actually kind of ignore, but she does a lot of damage. I'm going to imagine that the Hydralisk is female, because the Queen's female. Zagar is female, right? So, alright, so we do have some pushing for the different things here. The Queen decides to join in a little bit, throws down its Spore, trying to deal some damage, trying to get Rhaegar. Rhaegar quite low on health. Banelings aren't going to make it. They're not fast enough, and that's unfortunate. Rhaegar is going to escape with his life completely intact, albeit quite low. And then blue team is slightly ahead as far as the shambles that they've been able to gather. But Tassadar went down thanks to Nova, it looks like. But obviously, Breadman with Rhaegar gets help. Was able to give some help there, rather. And it doesn't look like the teams are going to be pushing for the Giant anytime. Maybe these two will. I don't think they have the tanking power for it, but all the little shambles are down. Decent pushing here in the middle. We are going to see Raynor get picked off by Nova. There he goes. Rygar was obviously helping there. And can we see the blue team area quite low? We see that Nova is trying to get in position and decides, hey, I need to help my Rygar. My Rygar is really low on health. As much as I want to kill the other Rygar, I need to help mine. And he makes it out of there quite fine. Gonna do some damage, but I think everyone's gonna make it out of here without worrying too much about anything. Nova quite low on mana, and is going to Hearthstone back. We do have a pretty solid push. Now all 5 characters in the middle lane. This is something that I've always liked about Heroes of the Storm, that you can do this from time to time and have a solid push. Now, surprisingly, it just seems like they just kind of did it on a whim, that they didn't really have a purpose there, but maybe they just noticed that 2 people were missing, and they must be going for the golem, so they're going to go for the Guardian Golem as well. Uther was able to heal Diablo there, and the red team is going to try to push their lead a little bit more with the Shambles. However, they are almost completely a level behind with experience, and this Shambles, or the collection of these seeds rather, might be able to get them a little bit higher. And so far it hasn't really, but once they get the knight, or the boss rather, when you can become the Garden Terror, that should help them quite a lot. Zagar quite low on health, needs to be careful, and she goes down. Nova, see, this is the pro and con of Nova, right? In perfect situations, people call Nova overpowered because she is extremely strong. However, in situations like that, she couldn't help Zagara because she's going to die as well. She's, you know, what you call glass cannon. You're going to deal some damage but can die extremely quickly. Good little team fight here. Diablo's doing what he does best, gets in the way, tanking as much damage. Rhaegar needs to be up there to get the heal. Diablo is being forced to run away. Rhaegar does get a bit of a heal, allows Diablo to escape, but now we do have Nova and Uther kind of alone. Rhaegar runs back to help. Nova is putting up the mirror image there and does confuse the Arthas. And will the Vala go down? Vala's actually got some health gain with her abilities. However, they did both go down thanks to the red team helping out there with Nova. So, Zagara dealing lots and lots of damage. Is Rhaegar going to go down? And there she goes, thanks to Rhaegar and Zagara from the blue team. Arthur's getting quite low. He'll be fine. But they are doing some pretty good zoning here because they do want to kill this Garden Terror, the golem there, in order to get the seeds they need. So we do have the red team, and it looks like that was Vala. Yep, Vala is going to be taking control of this Garden Terror and is going to push middle, it looks like. Meanwhile, top lane, not much happening. We did have somebody who beat back. Yeah, there he goes. Tassadar was up top. Mind you, everybody can see this in the minimap. This thing here, everybody can see that. So they do need to be careful, the red team here, because we all know that the blue team is going to want to stop whatever they can. You can see everyone running in except for Zagara. Zagara is not very fast, and if she can deal lots of damage pushing, then why not? So, she's going to go ahead and do that. It's kind of like there. So the team Terror for red, they're getting quite low. Rather not losing much health at all. My mistake. Normally you expect to see it losing much more hit points than this, but is able to be extremely effective. This is the kind of push that red needed to kind of gain back a little bit of the lead that blue had, and you can see that they are a little bit higher in experience than they were. They are now on the same level, and with any luck they'll get to level 10 before the blue team, because that's when you get your heroic abilities. Sometimes we call them ultimates in MOBAs. Depending on which team gets it first, it's going to allow a huge sway until the other team. It looks like blue team will get it, but the red team won't be too far behind. So the blue team's going to want to take advantage of as soon as this ability hits. As holy cow, red team got it first. Is red team going to use their ultimates? This is going to be huge if they do it. And looks like Nova gets almost a kill on Tassadar. Tassadar's having to go invulnerable, and Nova's going to do what she can to try to finish him off. Meanwhile, we do have a good team fight going here, but Tassadar was able to get lots of healing done. Zagara using her Maul, which is her ultimate, and everyone wants to kill the Rhaegar as he pops out, and good job, there he goes. Tassadar low on health, and there goes Nova to kill that Tassadar. So we do have 2 dead. The 2 healers are gone, and that's extremely well done by the blue team. Now the difference in experience is almost nothing. The red team just a sliver ahead, but for the most part they're staying, you know, their levels are staying just about equal there. Now, if we look at something, the blue team is quote-unquote behind. Now they pretty much caught their lead up. Oh, is Nova going to take down? Down goes Bala. Extremely good job by Nova, hiding in the bushes and getting that kill. The red team, let's look at this, right? The red team was able to push all of this. This entire fort was taken out with all of its towers. Go to the mid lane, 2 towers and the well taken out, which is a lot. When all the minions come, now they're going to be dealing with this fort. That's huge. That's huge. If they can just push the middle lane a little bit to get your minions through, that's going to be extremely influential as far as you know, changing the outcome of the game here. Because little by little, that's going to wear down. So we do have Arthas with Rhaegar on the red team trying to do some pushing here. But it's 3 on 3. I don't see much happening here. It looks like, oh, rather 4 on 3. It looks like, oh, Diablo using his ultimate to get the zoning done, and that was actually quite effective. Honestly, one of the more effective uses we've seen, or that I've seen rather, of that flame breath. Because you remember, that's a really tough ability to know the right moments on when to do it. The red team wanted to try to run in there at the last moments to take that from them, but that didn't work. Diablo extremely good job there. I actually really like that. Even though it did look pretty useless, it was a really good example of zoning. So the shambles are up and alive and dying. Blue team are really close to getting the seeds they need to hit the even 100 so that they can push with their Garden Terror. So hopefully that happens soon. Reynar's picking off Zagara. Zagara surprisingly looks like she's going to be able to get out of there. You need to Hearthstone out of there, Zagara. Don't try to push it. Come on, push B. Select your hero, push B. Come on. All right, that's not gonna happen. Keep an eye right here. This is how you're gonna know if Zagara is dying. Now, blue team is up extremely high with kills, and that's surprising considering if the red team really isn't that far behind. But the red team did their job to clean up the bottom. They only need 8 more seeds, and if they run up here, they're going to be able to get those because this is going to die quite quickly. And Rhaegar's picking up the 2 shambles on the left. That's going to be enough to get the seeds right there. Come on, just pick them up. Pick them up. There you go. So the blue team does have a bit of an advantage because they're pushing. Now, there is the Nova in there. So when she pops out, if anyone's low on health, we'll be able to get a quick kill and then escape. But the red team can't be ignored because they're going to have theirs soon. But it doesn't look like anyone wants to focus on it. Looks like the red team's going to want to take advantage of their Garden Terror when that is on its own. And that is not a terribly unsmart thing to do. I think that's actually quite smart. I'm going to turn the volume down here because it is quite loud. Alright, so blue team is able to do lots of pushing damage, getting rid of the fort, 2 towers, the well, and now the last tower is getting knocked down quite a lot. The Garden Terror might be overextending a little bit because once you turn back into Nova, you don't want to die. And that's something that happens when Nova is near towers. Rhaegar is here, Arthas is here, Rainer's here, and Nova somehow escaping? No? No? She wants to get another kill. Didn't work, but nobody died, so that's okay. I guess that wasn't a huge mistake there. But Nova is doing her ult and just barely misses the kill on Rhaegar there. And he escapes with just a fraction of health. Now, I didn't notice this until it pushed. The red team is crushing through the top with their Garden Terror. So let's do a quick recap. Gone. Completely gone at the top. Completely gone at the bottom. Middle lane is holding on, but not by a whole lot. So really good job by red team with their Garden Terror. While everyone was busy in the middle, they were able to clear another lane. So red team is not making a whole lot of mistakes there. They are up by almost a full level. So good job by the red team, especially considering that you were behind by almost a full level earlier in the game. So they were able to smarten up in a sense and get back at it. Are they going to be able to kill this hero and the hero inside it? Can Vala be taken out here? Nova's doing what she can to try to just put bodies in the way. But Vala's doing her ultimate, but it looks like Rhaegar is doing his healing. Now Tassadar came to help, and Tassadar's probably going to die. There he goes. With Diablo with the pull. Now, Diablo's pull is a little bit different than others. It's not like Stitch's, where they can pull quite a distance. Diablo just puts them behind them, but it doesn't seem like much. Oh, good use of Diablo's ability. All of that dealing damage to something, so that was really well done. However, stayed there for too long. Decided to sacrifice his life to push them back. Okay, the note that I wanted to make, when Diablo uses his ultimate, right, he picks up a hero, places that hero behind them, and spins around. Now what that does is that the enemy hero can't just run away because there's a body there. There's actually something physically in between where the hero wants to go and where they are, so it is actually extremely effective. Now, something of note, this Rhaegar did use the Bloodlust ability. You don't see that picked very often, but I really like that he did that. Maybe that use wasn't the best, but in team fights it can definitely sway things. This Zagara is being picked off probably, yeah, she's good. There's nothing she can do about that. However, the Rhaegar did get low on health, but remember, Rhaegars are really good at healing. So Uther's going to try to make something happen here, but that's not going to work. Meanwhile, we do have Vala and Tassadar taking on the Siege Golems. They're going to push bottom. Remember, bottom has a huge push here. This tower is going to go down extremely quickly, and they're going to go to the keep here. Little back and forth here at the top lane. I think Raynor went down. That was it. Zagara has been down for a little while. Zagara was trying to set up a flank, and that didn't work. Nova's going to try to pick up Rhaegar, but yeah, decides, hey, it's not worth me dying over. Meanwhile, people are going to go for the seeds. So blue team has less ground to make up, and they're actually doing something with the seeds, whereas the red team is taking this as an opportunity to regroup, most of them, but some are taking, oh, the bruisers. That is a little bit strange, but I don't disagree with it. I think that's actually kind of a cool idea. When everyone's thinking about one thing, if you can keep pushing that bottom lane, because that is a huge push right now. If you have nobody here, by the way, these Siege Golems will go forever, because they can outrange the defensive abilities. So if you get bruisers and the Siege Golems, that's huge. That's really, really good. Alright, so lots of pushing here. Tassadar getting extremely low on health until he gets healed, and then he's pretty good. He's doing pretty okay. Alright, Zagara doing what she can to get some damage here. And Diablo, lots of damage, but they are also dealing lots of damage to him. Can Nova get a kill here? Can she use her ultimate ability and do some damage? It looks like she tried, and that didn't work, so she needs to get out of there. Diablo's gonna try to sacrifice his life to save hers, and it worked, and they're both alive. Holy cow, good job by Diablo, but you need to get out of there, buddy. Rhaegar getting the heal, and beautiful job. What a team effort that was to keep the Nova alive, and now they can push back, and Nova is actually in the Garden Tower, and this Uther's gonna be able to clean this up. So we do have the blue Garden Terror running around. Hopefully he's going to be able to just ignore these. Alright, he wants to push somewhere. Joker Sniper wants to get something done. He's just going to ignore everything. But he's going to go, okay, we need to deal some damage here. Look at the number of forts. 3 forts to 5. And the damage is being done on the red team isn't much. But they want to get a good lane cleared here in the middle so that later on they can do a solid maybe 5 or even 4-man push to try to clear this out. Nova extremely low on health. She's going to go down. That wasn't the best use of a Garden Terror. I think if he stuck around here, cleaned these up, and then pushed with 2 or 3 more heroes, they would have been able to actually do something here, rather than kill a tower or 2. So I think that was a little bit of a mistake. Now the red team's going to try to grab theirs. Here goes Vala running into that Garden Tower, pushing up the center lane. Now this makes a bit more sense because they only have this fort left. Top gone, bottom gone. This middle lane is the strongest, so you might as well push with what you got to try to get something done here. And we do have the red heroes starting to soften this up. And that allows the Garden Terror to... oh, is he just going to take the back route? Is he going to go and try to take out the fort all on his own? That might work. Nope, he's going to ignore the fort and just take out this gate. Now, this plant here does deal damage over time to everything in the area. And Nova was quick to shut that up. So that was a good job done by Nova. Diablo using his ultimate again. He's always able to use this in pretty good situations. So... I think that the Garden Terrors, again, it's not going to be very effective. If they had pushed with the entire red team, I think we would have had something there. Lots of damage could have been done to different towers, but the red team is flanking. Tassadar is using his ultimate. The Rhaegar goes down. Blue team was able to take away the healer, so that's a really good job. Can Arthas be taken down? Uther dealing his damage. Remember, like, what is it? Uther trained Arthas, something like that, and then he turned to the dark side, kind of like Darth Vader. So he's going down quite quickly, but Tassadar is able to give his shield, and he is actually gaining health quite quickly, so I don't think much is going to happen there. And this Garden Terror, believe it or not, is still alive. Blue team wasn't able to clear this up because they had to worry about the push that the red team was doing. Diablo throws Vala behind him, and down he goes, especially when you get Nova in to do that burst damage. Alright, red team is ahead on levels. They're going to hit level 20 first, and they're actually dealing damage to the core. Look at all these catapults here. So, red team, good job on, slowly getting rid of all these forts. But solid pushing up here by the blue team as well with their siege golems. This is kind of a bit of a downtime. Hopefully we see the blue team start to take over the different camps, and yeah, that's what we're seeing. Red team going to do the same. Remember, it's not nighttime. They don't really have any objectives to go for. Even if they did, they need a decent amount in order to have the 100. So they're going to start cleaning this up. Okay, blue team is losing. What does blue team need to do in order to win? Well, you need to take out this. This is almost pristine condition. Full hit points, almost full hit points, almost full hit points. Well is looking good. Fort untouched. Top, taken out. Good. Middle, taken out. Good. But back here, everything is completely fine except for these two little towers. Everything else is looking really, really good. But we do have a bit of a team fight. So the blue team needs to get rid of all that stuff to make that story really, really short. Blue team, perfect maw here by Zagara. Everyone's jumping in. Everyone's doing damage. Can Rhaegar go down? Looks like Nova's going to focus him. Yeah, here goes the ultimate. Down. Now, mind you, he doesn't have level 20. This means that is at level 20, you can take an ability which allows you to, once you get a kill with that ability, it refreshes, so you can do it again. But they haven't hit level 20, so they don't have that ability. It looks like the red team is going to have their ultimates up soon. Yeah, they're there with level 20. They're choosing their last talents now. Going to be extremely effective once that hits, because the level 20 ability is arguably the strongest of all the ones in the game. It allows you to be the most useful, and they do have a little bit of time before the red team's going to be able to do this. This game's almost been 20 minutes, some pretty good back and forth. Right now, the red team is winning. And again, they're able to push up here. Raynor doing a bit of damage, but his stim pack kicks in, allows him to gain lots of that health back, but it doesn't matter. When it's 3-on-1, there's not a whole lot you can do to escape, because any little bit of damage kicks you off that horse. Siege golems in the main lane, they're going to keep doing their thing. It's okay, we have one keep, which has no ammo. This keep is gone. South end, gone. So we have one keep, which is really low on health, one tower, which is less than half health, and the core, which is at full health. So it's not going to take much for the red team to do their damage. Look at that, they already have 73 out of the 100 skulls, or seeds, needed. I just got mixed up with the Haunted Mines. The 100 seeds needed in order to grab your plant. And they might be able to do one solid push once that happens. So blue team is not going to let them grab this. However, Rhaegar does use his Bloodlust. Rhaegar and the blue team almost dies. Nova extremely low on health, but no one's dying so far except for Diablo. Diablo goes down, but he does have his resurrection, so he comes right back. Rhaegar goes down for the blue team. Nova extremely low on health, but decides, hey, I can do some damage. I'm not useless. Almost gets the kill, but the heal comes just in time. Nova needs to get out of there. Gets the cloak on. Oh, but it wasn't enough. Down she goes. Diablo tries to run in here with only Zagara. Does kill the Vala, which is going to help a lot, because there's most of the DPS, especially because Raynor isn't here. Raynor is just relaxing. It's been a tough game. It's been a 21-minute game, and Raynor just needs a nap. Just needs a nap. Sometimes you're playing a video game and you go, I just need me some Hot Pockets. So that's obviously what he's done. He's run to the kitchen, grabbed himself some Hot Pockets, and just heating those up. And the worst thing is, when you've heated them up, they're too hot and it burns your mouth, so he's probably like past the heating up stage. He's probably, you know, got it with a knife maybe to pry it open a little bit, and he's able to blow into the inside to cool it down, because you don't want to burn your mouth. You know, there's nothing worse than burning the inside of your mouth from, you know, anything related to pizza. It seems like every time I get a pizza, I burn the top of my mouth because I'm just like really excited to eat it, and so I try to eat it right away, and then I feel nothing the roof of my mouth for the next like 3 days. Anyways, back and forth here with the red and blue team over at this the golem here, and Diablo was pretty far away when he started to use that ability, but it was still a good example of zoning. Now they need to get Rhaegar. Rhaegar wasn't in the circle that stunned everyone. Diablo was, and Diablo's the one chasing him. Can he pull behind him? Doesn't look like it. Oh, look at that! They just came out of the bush. Like, how do you fit in the bush? Anyways. Alright, Nova's going to try to chase Rhaegar down. Is Rhaegar aware of this? Nova could have run in here and maybe gotten that. What's Nova going to do? I think she might do it. Oh, here comes the ultimate. Hit. Wasn't enough. Can she get the pot shot off? No, heals himself and is able to get out of there. Nova using the mirror image to try to stop that from happening. Meanwhile, red team is pushing. Who was that, Vala? Let's check here. That is Vala. Alright. So Vala's going to try to push here. Remember, this is the only thing standing. I'm surprised they're not pushing for it, but going for the top lane instead. Nope. Not going for the top lane. Saw a hint of Diablo there. Decides, no, I don't want to deal with that. I'm gonna go somewhere else. Alright. Red team needs to support this. He is all alone. What are you guys doing? Get over here. You need to help when you have the Garden Tear, especially when one solid push will win you the game. That is how close you are to winning. So here we go. Some help from teammates, and Garden Tear runs off on his own again. Just completely on his own. Red team's just gonna be back here. You know, everyone's gonna fight and do their thing. Diablo is gonna be able to escape. Uther's gonna escape because that's literally the only thing he knows how to do. Oh, he does go down. I guess when you got 4 guys and ultimates flying, that can kill Luther. And then everyone running over here to try to pick off the Garden Terror, but we do have the rest of the red team here helping. Let's see if they're going to make something. We've got 30 seconds and maybe a third, maybe a quarter of the health left here on this Garden Terror. The fort is down, but the blue team is sticking together. They are getting everyone getting their DPS all together at once, rather than, you know, that's how you lose games if you're not sticking together, especially at this point, because the red team doesn't need much to get a kill here, to get a win. They just need a little bit of push to have that happen. But the blue team's, you know, not on my watch. But either way, the game's gonna end soon. Blue team's gonna be able to hold off a little bit. But look at this, like, they even have to deal with, what is this, five catapults? That's huge. All the heroes here. Okay, the core is going to fall down really quickly. Everyone on the blue team is dead. However, Zagara and Nova, arguably the 2 top damage dealers on the team. Alright, down goes Nova. Now, guaranteed she chose the ability to allow her to do that again, but Renner wasn't low enough on health. And surprisingly, Rhaegar just runs back. You have a Hearthstone, buddy. You can just teleport back. Alright. Okay. Looks like the red team's gonna want to grab this golem before the blue team does, because that's not something you want the other team to push with, especially when you're so close to winning. So here is the red team dealing some damage. Blue's gonna notice pretty quickly. Hey, we should probably stop them from doing this. Nova's gonna use her ult. No, didn't use her ult, but she guaranteed has it on the ready. All right. One hit. No, she's just trying to delay them. And Diablo's here doing all of his damage. Zagara with the maw pulls them in. Down goes Raynor. Good job to blue team, able to do that. Rhaegar is here to get the healing. Doesn't matter. Arthas goes down. Rhaegar goes, yeah, okay, it's time to leave. Tacitus trying to do what he can, but decides to eat a bunch of Banelings to the face. Alright, blue team. Don't mess this up. You are so close to dying. Literally the only thing you have is this. And it even lost a bunch of shields, which are regenerated, of course, but that's all you got. That's all you got. So you need to really stick together and you know, get this done. Watch, like even with these the bruisers and the siege golems here, even if those just start pushing, that's going to be huge. You got the catapults down here dealing plenty of damage, 3 of them and another 1 on the way. But blue team realizes, hey, if we're going to turn this game around, we need to be active. We can't just sit on our hands, because that's how you lose games. But the red team is extremely well defended. Bottom is doing okay. All things considered, for 27 minutes into the game, they're doing okay. This is almost untouched. Nah, you got the keep. There's something there. And then this is, you know, it's... I love how beat up they look when they're dying. But, okay, lots of pushing here. Red team decided that they needed to get together and do a solid push. Blue team decides to get out of there. Remember, if a team fight goes in favor of red, and I'm talking a good team fight where 3 or 4 guys die, red will just win the game. Red will just straight up win. And blue team doesn't want that to happen, so they really know that they need to pick their battles, that they really need to get things done. Siege Golem's being taken here by Breadman with Rhaegar. The other Rhaegar poked his head and said, "Hey buddy, how's it going? I'll just let you do what you're doing. I'm not gonna worry about you too much." A couple minions here dealing damage to the core, but that's not all that important. But Nova needs to deal with... Oh, Uther's here. No, we're good. Getting rid of those golems. And Tassador's going to try to push here. I'm surprised the red team... Okay, here they come. Yeah, they're coming in. Do what you can. If you notice things are getting dicey, get out of there. So Tassador goes invulnerable to try to escape damage for a short period of time. Diablo throws Tassador behind him and gets the shield up, and Rhaegar gets the heal. Diablo decides to use his ultimate. Is that enough? Almost. Almost is enough to save him, and Uther tries to finish it off, but it doesn't happen. Meanwhile, Arthas is... he's being beat up pretty bad. I don't know why Diablo picked him up and threw him on the other side of him, because that pretty much allowed him to escape. Arthas, with his the high mana he did have, he just used all of it. Used a bunch of abilities to try to keep him alive. And Rhaegar and Arthas together are able to push back Uther and Diablo. Who knew? Alright, top lane, we do have Rhaegar pushing here with golems. Probably not an amazing idea. Vala is pretty much designed to kill people like Rhaegar. And red team going to take these bruisers, which are on the other side of the map, which is really good for them because they'll just join this push here and go from there. Alright, Nova's going to try to scout around. You know, Nova at this point of the game is trying to look for people low on health and pick them off. So, going to run to the top lane. Was able to see what was happening. Looks at, okay, everyone's full at health. Probably can't do anything. Going to get out of there. Vala uses more abilities than what's probably necessary, and down goes Nova. So, hey, if you use all your abilities to kill somebody, depending on the situation, that's probably good. That's probably not the worst thing that could happen. Alright, blue team does have their Garden Terror growing. In 5 seconds, they're going to be able to take this and do some solid pushing. Red team needs many, many more seeds. 64 new seeds. Oh, okay, of course, as soon as I say that, they start getting more. But almost 50 seeds now they need, and if they get this golem, I think that's just about how many are in there. And they will be able to turn around and do a decent amount of pushing. I don't know if they're going to be able to win on this push, because it looks like blue team, like, come on, guys, you got 35 seconds. Come on, someone needs to grab that Kate Uther. You gonna run back and grab it? Yeah, looks like it. He's Hearthstoning. Okay. Oh, and Nova's dead, saying, "Hey, I can grab it when I respawn," but it looks like Uther's gonna grab it. No, he doesn't. Okay, so Nova's gonna come back in 2 seconds and grab this. Red team has enough seeds. It's growing. It's got 5 more seconds left. Nova's hopping into the Garden Terror. Just push like crazy. Which one's the weakest? Mid or top? It looks like they were calling for mid. Yeah. Alright, everyone push mid. If you can get a solid push here, you can get back the lead. You know, as far as experience, everything's even right now, but you do need to get some positioning done here. There's way more forts. All four of the final 6 forts are still up for red. Meanwhile, blue has nothing. Nothing is there to defend. So they wanted to try to get that back. Blue team got very distracted with this Garden Terror, which is probably for the best. If you have to choose between doing some damage, which is this, or not dying, which is this, it's probably best to not die. You should probably go for the one that's going to keep you alive. So, alright, Garden Terror is pushing in. She's probably going to die with this push. But is doing damage to the core. If nothing else, this is going to do some morale for your team. Look at that, the Garden Terror even had to get out of there. Surprisingly, she might just do okay here. Diablo, excellent use of this ult. I've never preferred this ult, but the way this Diablo is doing it, I really like it. So, Arthas is getting beaten up a little bit. Lots of damage being dealt. Is that enough to kill him? And it's not. Holy cow, Arthas, you never died. Ever. Arthas has died. Let's check it right here. Arthas has died 3 times. 3 times, that's it. Look at that. It's all pretty even as far as the deaths. No one's really lagging behind. Maybe Raynor, but even then, it's not that bad. So, really good playing by everyone involved. Oh, look at that. Zagara through the Banelings, and then Diablo tried to put the Garden Terror into the Banelings, and it worked for 2 of them, I think. But overall, I like the play, even though it wasn't as effective as they thought it was going to be. Oh, Breadman gets out of there just barely with Rhaegar, getting some healing done to help himself. Zagara quite low on health. Can he save her? No, he can't. Vala doing lots of damage. And Nova goes, "Hey Vala, how's it going?" You know, I've always imagined like Nova and Vala are pretty much the same person. They were just born in different times. Like Vala is extremely good at dealing damage, and Nova can just do it a little bit better, a little bit quicker because she's from the future, right? So that's just how it is. I think, you know, Vala is Nova if Nova was born sooner, you know, medieval times. If you're born in medieval times, yeah, it's pretty much the same person. Alright, healing being done by Rhaegar. Shield goes up for Tassadar. I don't think Nova's going to be able to do anything here. But Blue Core under attack, only 38% of its hit points. That's not much at all. Now the shield's going to come back and is going to offset that. Looks like they're roughly half health now. But that's not something to sneeze at. You know, that is a lot of damage taken away from the health there of that core. Alright, blue team. Remember, this is a downtime again. We had some solid pushing, and then we got Breadman over here grabbing these golems, and we do have the rest of the team over here grabbing some more. Zagara is going to be taking out this push here. Was I right in my prediction? Is Zagara winning with Siege? Is. And with hero damage. That look at that. Who would have thought that my prediction would be like close to correct? Lots of healing done by the Rhaegar here, so good job done by pretty much everyone there. It was how I expected it. Nova will be pretty high, I imagine. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, fairly high, but because their damage isn't sustained, it's extremely bursty. So they do all that damage in short bursts rather than gradually as the game's going on. All right, lots of mercenaries pushing here. Top, middle, and bottom, all taken by red, so really good job by them. But blue team was doing the same thing, and look at this, the golems are all fighting each other, getting the damage done. So good little team scuffle here by in the middle lane. I don't think much is going to happen. That Rhaegar might actually go down by the looks of it. Zagara gets her Maw and throws the Banelings. Perfect timing with the Banelings, get all of them to hit on something just as the Maw opened up. Arthas is going to swing him from behind, trying to soak up some of this damage. Lots of damage being done here. Holy cow. Breadman might go down, but uses his ultimate to save his life. Really good job, because you look like you're going to die, buddy. Alright, Rhaegar extremely low health on the red team, but knows he needs to stick around to get some of the heals done to keep his team alive. But red team stretching it right to the limits. Oh! Okay, Tassadar goes down. That means Nova has her ultimate up again. Can she get Arthas? Probably. Probably, if I had to guess. But no, gonna go for Vala. Down goes Vala. Does get Arthas as well. Down goes Arthas. Good job by the Nova coming in when it mattered. Now we have blue team leading again with kills. Really good job. Everyone's at level 25. In fact, the blue team is winning. the blue team actually has more experience than the red team for the first time in a little while. I like these games where they're back and forth. At this point, if you had to have me predict a winner, I wouldn't be able to, because the blue team has been dealing damage more consistently. They've been doing a better job as a team. However, looking at the current state of things right now, right? That's still standing. That's gone. But this is standing, and this is standing. Which makes me think red team's winning, right? Ignore everything that's happening right now. Red team's winning. But we can't ignore momentum. The blue team is definitely winning when it comes to momentum. So, lots of pushing here trying to be done by red, but the blue team's going to shut that down. Down goes Raynor. Zagara missing her maw. Looks like she's trying to go for Raynor, but in the end wasn't needed. Nova's going to just take a leisurely stroll. There was minions there. Don't think I'm like I'm. Oh, that was a good little bit of damage. Get your minions the advantage there. All right, middle, decent pushing. I'm surprised the red team isn't just sticking together and just pushing really, really hard one lane. They seem to kind of be all over the place. But a decent little push here by everyone. Raynor's dead, and because it's controlled by AI, we don't have the counter, which is unfortunate. But Arthas is probably pushing back a little bit too far, but Diablo goes, don't worry about it. I know you were low on health, and you were behind us. I'm just going to put you out in front. You know, it's a gentleman's game. Let's help those in need, right? You know, Merry Christmas and goodwill to men, all that kind of stuff. So Diablo just looking out for his brother. All right, we're coming up to the 40-minute mark. I still have no idea who's going to win, but whoever gets these seeds first might have a bit of an impact here. Blue team almost has the 100. There they go with the 100. Will one push win it? Like right in the middle. It doesn't ignore this, right? If you're in the middle, sorry about the cough there. If you're in the middle, it doesn't really matter. Like there's nothing there to stop anyone in the middle. Breadman sounds like he's going to take. No. Okay, he's dead. So maybe he's going to take it as soon as he comes back. Allows... Okay, so it was Nova that took it. Just going to push hard middle, it looks like. Rhaegar is alive now. And Uther gets full hit points. Red team, I don't think they know what's coming. Guys, ignore that. You're going to die if you ignore that. Alright, they're putting down all the chips. They're going all in. Oh, this is like Poker Stars or Championship you always see on TV. They just pushed it all across the table and went, alright, you're going to deal with this. I don't know if I'm going to win or not, but you're going to deal with what I have in this hand. Rhaegar, what you doing, buddy? Come on, bread man. Alright, so good push here done by the blue team. Everyone's trying to stop them, but looks like they're just going to put all of their damage towards the core, and it's falling fast. They're going to deal with the core, just damage the card. Holy crap. Holy crap. They called it. They said, alright, we're going. Balls to the wall. We're going hard here, and it worked. Good job. Good job. They had that level advantage, which at the end of the day isn't a huge difference. Okay, let's go through this really quickly. That was a long game. I don't want to make this video too much longer than it needs to be. 28 kills by the blue team. Nova was there for 21 of them. That's what we would expect. Zagara was there for the next most amount, and that's pretty well expected. Nova surprisingly had the most XP contribution. Normally you would see Zagara do that, and also the most siege damage. Now that might have been swayed a lot because Nova was normally the person taking the Garden Terror, and that is going to kind of sway the statistics there. But the early prediction of Zagara winning in hero damage and siege damage almost came true. Mind you, Zagara was able to do that without being the Garden Terror. So remember, guys, if you got a Zagara, she might look slow and clunky or whatever, but she's going to get it done. She's going to be able to deal tons and tons and tons of damage to you and all of your minions. Good job healing by both the Uther and both Rhaegars. Looking at the red team, Vala with so much siege damage. amazing. I don't think I've ever seen siege damage that high. Now, mind you, it was a, 40-minute game almost? Just about 40 minutes, 39.50. And Vala was just dealing lots of damage to everything, and this was to be expected. However, I'm surprised that Raynor is so low. Mind you, he was replaced by a bot near the end. But I would have liked to see that a lot higher. But, oh well. You know, who am I, right? I'm not your coach. Alright, so, good game by both teams. I think it was just a little bit of a slip-up at the end of, hey, you should have been pushing here, or you should have been watching, because you can see that Garden Terror on the minimap. You should have known that was coming, should have done something about it. But hey, mistakes happen. That one ended up costing the game. But extremely good job by both teams there. And that was a fun game. I enjoyed casting that. If you guys have more games like this, remember, this is a good example of a solid Heroes of the Storm game. If you guys have examples like this, send them in. They're great. Absolutely love them. Remember, guys, I'm Sergeant Rock from BuddhaBellies. If you have replays, send them to BuddhaBelliesReplays@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.